Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in a desert. Yeah, well, this is going to be a short today because the winds are howling. They're 24 miles per hour right now, actually fluctuating between 22 and 24, and that's just a little bit too strong to be walking around. But I was down in the Garden of Eden today, and I watered everything, soaked it all down just in time with this dry wind coming through here. And it's only supposed to be for today. It's a high wind warning, but still, you know, it uses quite a bit of water to keep everything watered. I did soak all of the mulberry trees yesterday with the water from the Tote-cuzzi, and then here's the hose that runs down and goes to the garden house, and that's what I use to finish off the rest of that old water that was in the Tote-cuzzi. And right now it's full of fresh, crystal clear, sparkling water, and I've got the filter pump running, and that's what I was doing for part of the day, most of the day actually. And this is a temporary setup, but I will be putting it on a timer. But you can see I did the hard pipe in here, got rid of the garden hose sections that I was using. And that little circulation pump down there pulls the water out of the bottom of this unit, runs it up through the filter, and then back into the unit at the top. And I have on the top inside, I have a 45 in there. And I did not glue that, so I can turn it and adjust the direction I want the water to go. So right now I'm making it circulate, go around this way. But I'll be turning it down a little ways so that it blows downward to circulate and around. So it takes some of that sand and stuff out of the bottom. It'll get it over to the filter area where it'll be sucked in and brought up through the filter here. So this is just a standard drinking water filter. It's not the best in the world, but it does take out some of the things like chlorine and that. But it's great for taking a little sediment out of here. And you see there's some little white flakes flying around in there. That's because one of the other things I did was I modified my ladder. Remember I said I was going to put these T's in here with the extra braces in. And boy, what a difference that makes. It is really, really solid now going up and down. So I was sitting on my little Nemo stool earlier because I had to test out the new water, and he and his buddy were having a good time. All right. So anyway, yeah, the ladder worked out great like it is. And then I put some of this foam that came from some of the scrap wood I got from Don, and when he gave me the pallets and that stuff. So I've got these things just temporarily held in place with some brads. I don't know if they're brads or Brian's or whatever. Anyway, that's just so that when I put the cover on, it will sit fairly even, because this will crush down a little ways and then hit the wood. So it sits down and it keeps evaporation, and it'll keep the bugs to a minimum. They can still get in those corners over there, but that's going to be all corrected. I've got to get a can of foam and foam those corners so the bugs can't come up through there. And then I'll be having it once I get the permanent deck on. This is all temporary. This is because I couldn't afford the price of plywood. I had these shelving pieces, and I just put all these on here so I could use this thing. And I will be changing that out to exterior plywood, and I will be coating it with a good spar varnish so that it weathers well. And then I'll get the rest of the railings and all that stuff put on. And I am, even where those foam pieces are, there's going to be like a platform there so you could actually sit on it or put your drink up there or whatever, or a cell phone, you know, just stuff that you want to keep close and handy, and we'll see how that works out. So another thing, and then we'll get this thing wrapped up here pretty soon. I got tired of this thing shrinking every time the weather dried it out. So you see the foam on there. What's that? Well, that's Gorilla Glue. See, Gorilla Glue is a polyurethane, and water speeds its activation. So what I did was I took this apart because it had already shrunk back down again. I soaked the handle in a bucket of water, and then when I got it nice and soaked, I put a bead of Gorilla Glue around the wooden handle, put it in and hit it into place and let it dry. Now it has expanded and locked it into place. I'll be cutting all of that excess off with my knife here in a little while, and I won't have to worry about that thing falling apart on me anymore. Hit me, sliding down and hit me in the hand. That's always a pain. Okay, so the other night when I was going through all my prospecting tools and telling you all the things that you should have when you go, there was a couple of items that I didn't have. One of them is, there's all that white flakes from the cutting of PVC, is a Garrett pinpointer. All right, there's the label right there. Pro Pointer 2. And what this is used for is when you get product in your gold pan, or as you're digging and you want to see if it's still in the hole or outside of the hole, you turn this thing on, makes a beep, tells you it's on. Got a little light so you can see what's going on. And right now it's ringing because it's picking up on the phone. It is very sensitive. You see this hole right here. Well, what's that? Well, the other night, right after I finished the video, I said, well, I'm going to check my metal detector out. So I fired it up, I turned it on, I went to depth, and I started scanning. And I went weep, 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 and it was going nuts right there. And I said, what the heck's that? And I was looking, and it was saying it was coins. It was reading coins on here. And I was saying, well, why? Why is it reading coins? And started flashing through the area, and no, only right there. So I dug it up. And what did I find? Well, let's see, did I just dump it out? I think I just dumped it out. Yep, I sure did. Here it is right here. A penny. And it's been sitting in there for a while. Because it's a zinc penny and almost all the copper is off of it. So anyway, I've got a whole jar of this stuff in my container that I found out here. All the different coins and that stuff that I find, I throw them in one specific jar because a lot of them aren't even any good for currency anymore. They're so worn that they're just no good. But it's fun to have that stuff, right? So anyway, while I was doing that, I got to thinking, well, there's something else I didn't tell you about. This is a handy tool right here. And what is it? It's a rolling magnet. And I bought this at Harbor Freight Tools umpteen years ago. It's the 30-inch rolling magnet. And I think when I bought it, it was like $39. Now I think it's somewhere around 50-something dollars. Might be 50 bucks or something like that. But what is this good for? Well, when you're not going gold hunting in stream beds and all of that, and going where the mines are and that, and you're just going to go out in the desert and you find campgrounds that somebody has a fire pit like this with rocks sitting around, and they had the campfire going there. Well, what happens when people sit around the campfire and they get drunk is they They drop coin out of their pockets all the time, just like when you sit on the sofa at home and all the money falls out of your pocket and goes down the back of the sofa. That happens around campfires. So I use this thing to run through the campfire area first, rolling it around like this. And I'm going to show you something interesting when I do this, but you roll this thing around and pick up all of the iron that might be out there. That'll give you false readings, false hits, drive you up a wall. So you say, well, you got all that stuff. Well, you see the handle on top? That's to release it. You pull up on that handle and it'll release everything from the bottom of this. But for right now, I'm just gonna tilt it back. And one of the things, you see this cloth thing on here. The reason that's on there is because one thing I didn't like was the rubber handle on this thing. I don't know what they made it out of, grape jelly or something. But just from the oil from your hand, it gets sticky and your hand sticks to it all the time. Anyway, what I was going to show you, look at this. Look at all that black sand just from that little roll around I just did. Okay, so I'm going to show you now. I turn this the other way and pull up on the handle. And there's all the black sand that I just picked up on that little roll around. So yeah, there's a little bit of black sand around here. And then you find loads of this stuff. This is all quartz. This is all quartz. And people will pick up quartz like this. Well, that's pretty to look at, but that's not the kind of stuff you want to pick up and look at. You want to get the stuff that's like this. Stuff that's got color and stuff that's got veins, dark veins running through it. I'll be putting those through the rock crusher and check to see what's inside of them, if anything. Now this is really the kind of stuff you want to find right here. Okay, now there's a lot of mineralization around in this thing, a lot of different minerals in this, and that's going to be a beauty to break up and see what's inside. But you can see this is all quartz, and see how ugly it is? Well, the uglier the better when you're looking for gold. See all this? All right, now this one is a different type of rock altogether. It is sedimentary, but it's heavy, so I brought it back. And you can see some of my rock samples here that I dug up. And this big old chunk of metal, I'm thinking it might be aluminum, but who knows? And then I got this little piece here, and this piece, I think this might be silver, because it just stays dark gray. It doesn't change color at all. So I got a bunch of different rock samples, and this is all from my property out here. This is all came from around here. And like I said, the mines are way up there in the mountains. Way up there, and it doesn't look like that's far away. But that's probably 5 miles from here, okay? And that's where the mines are. And all of the quartz and stuff I'm finding down here is because there's stream beds that run all the way from there, all the way down through this place, all the way down to the lowest part. Like I said, this used to be a gigantic lake. I mean, a gigantic lake. One like the Great Lakes. So that's what's going on, and that's all I have for today. And I'm going to be closing this off. Tonight I'm going to do some barbecue chicken on the barbecue, and I got some corn on the cob, and I think maybe some boiled carrots and potatoes to go with that. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Don't forget thumbs up down there. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And for all you newcomers, Thank you very much for joining in, and welcome aboard. This is G Bear signing off.